What's cracking, YouTube? Man, I'm very excited to be back. And one thing I realized being a gamer, and the more that I am a gamer, it seems like the gaming industry has us really out here like Book of Eli, I Am Legend, Fallout, very post-apocalyptic, dystopian-ish with all the corporate greed going on. And with that being said, I really wanted to talk about a topic today that I feel like affects everybody who games, whether you're casual or whether you're hardcore like me, and that is subscriptions. Now, if you live in the world today, subscriptions, whether it's music or watching your favorite shows, it just exists. It's just something that you can't get around. From Netflix to Hulu, Spotify, they exist. And gaming is no different. Now, the thing about gaming, at least for now, is that, at least for me, I'm primarily a solo gamer. Now, I take it case by case. Sometimes I like specific games that are multiplayer, and then when I get those games, I will invest in the multiplayer side of things. For example, PlayStation 5, right, is usually my primary place where I play games. If I get a game on my PlayStation that's multiplayer, I'm gonna invest in that multiplayer PSN and go crazy. And usually I can go month to month or 3 months, whatever. But usually if I'm not playing a specific game online, I really don't invest in the PSN because it just makes sense financially. But I want to know, is that the case for most gamers and even casual gamers? Are they paying for online or these subscription services? Not just PlayStation. You have Xbox Game Pass and other things like that. So today's video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, my experiences, and a couple of questions that I got. But without further ado, let's dive in. All right. So when it comes to the subscriptions and stuff like that, pricing is a big factor. And like I said, I primarily play on PlayStation 5. So usually when we buy PSN or whatever, it comes in tiers. I usually get the lowest tier, and even then it comes with like the free games every month and things like that, which sweetens the pot. And I know most subscription services for multiplayer do that type of thing. I believe Xbox does as well, on top of like Xbox Game Pass and everything like that. Which brings me to my next point: the pricing versus what they offer, right? I wonder to myself, people who play more multiplayer games, obviously they gotta focus on the pricing. But for the people that I know who are primarily multiplayer gamers, they usually try to get deals or buy in bulk, meaning instead of the 3 months, 1 month, or 6 month options for their multiplayer service, they'll buy a year at a time, which makes sense because you usually get a discount, and obviously you get those free games and everything like that depending on what service you get. But when you look at other services like an Xbox Game Pass, which is primarily for games and things like that, and even with PSN, the games you get technically aren't yours. What I mean by that is they're absolutely free. You can download them and play them for as long as you have the subscription service. Once that service is up, you no longer have access to that game library, which kind of irks me a little bit, but I get it because you are paying for the subscription service and the games are just kind of extra. But I like to own my games. Call me old school, but I like owning my games. I like the fact that if the internet goes out or if I stop paying my subscription, whatever the case may be, I can still boot up my game and enjoy myself. Another thing that I think about is the lifespan of a multiplayer game. I feel like multiplayer games have much more of a lifespan just because in order for the multiplayer games to work, there's obviously servers and things like that that allow you to turn on your game and connect to others, all over the internet and everything like that. And sometimes the developers eventually stop servicing the game and shut down the servers, so there's no more multiplayer. So when I think of things like Call of Duty, where there's a new game every year, well, there was, right? That's a little different now, but that's a whole nother video, but just bear with me. So Call of Duty's formula, when they started releasing games yearly, a lot of the games that came before were forgotten about within 2 or 3 years. And for somebody who purchases a full price game for that multiplayer component, obviously you might want to go to the newest thing, but for some people, they like a certain iteration of a game and they want to stick with it. So when we talk about multiplayer games, I always think about the lifespan, because some multiplayer games, they're just good to go. Their lifespan, it extends well into years and years of content and just keeping the servers up. But there are some multiplayer games that don't last that long. I mean, look at the perfect example of something like Apex Legends versus something like, obviously, the dumpster fire that was Concord, or Ubisoft's Call of Duty Killer. Can't think of the name of it right now, but I'll try to put it up on the screen. My point being, right, is that certain games are going to last longer than others, and I feel like for the multiplayer community, that lifespan, decision, when you look at the lifespan of games, I would say that plays a factor in what games they choose. But that's just me speculating. What do y'all think? When y'all play multiplayer games, do you think about the lifespan? Do you think about how long it's going to last before they pull the plug? Or is it something that you don't really think about? Life as a gamer, and especially life as a solo gamer, can be a little bit different. So I wanted to tackle a topic where we explored something a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Like I said, it's not completely outside of it, because I do play multiplayer games from time to time. I do have my favorites, roster of games that I do check in on when I get my PSN back up. But for me, it's not a necessity. It's basically just whenever I can get to it, or when I want to play a specific game, I'll tap in with my with the subscription with the PlayStation Network for me. But for people who primarily play multiplayer games, I thought it was interesting, because I think in my head, they have to think about things a little different, whether that be the lifespan of a game, working in the pricing of the actual subscription service, whether it be yearly or monthly. That's a part of their budget before they even think about purchasing whatever game they want to play. Obviously, the lifespan of that game, how long that game is going to last, or updates and things like that. Things that us multiplayer lone wolf kind of guys, we don't really got to worry about that. We get our game, we download it, we play it. Occasionally there might be a little patch or two, but for the most part, we're rocking and rolling just by ourselves. I want to see what y'all think about the situation. We are living in very strange, expensive, greedy times, especially with the big corporations just trying to Mr. Krabs us, nickel and dime us. So if you're watching this, you made it this far. Thank you. Appreciate you. But show us some love, share it, and leave a comment. Let me know, are you a multiplayer gamer? Are you a solo gamer like me? And how does it work for you? What do you think about some of the things that I brought up? But that's me just yapping, running my mouth a little bit. More content on the way. And you already know what I'm going to say. Just like that, I'm out. Peace.